Hey guys, welcome back to Adventures of Well, I'm me. You'll probably notice that I am wearing the exact same outfit as in the last episode when I started that. Bit of a time jump. I'm doing some of the unboxing now and sorting out before I move house so I can sort of box things back together. So the next few videos, seeing as I haven't uploaded in a while, they're going to be looking a little bit weird. With time jumps, probably ending up in a different house before I even publish any of them. But what I'm planning to do is I'm going to do a lot of the unboxing for all my magazines so I can sort of get them off the floor and I can start getting all my paint sort of collected together and getting the miniatures sort of done little bit by little bit rather than sort of leaving it all on the floor. I said in the last video that I had up to issue 25 on the floor underneath me. I've actually got up to, I think I saw issue 36. Yeah, I fell really far behind. Lots of stuff going on. Mainly, like I was saying, just packing and not having the space to be able to do things. But enough about that. Let's have a look at what we have in this next issue. So it might be a little bit sort of messy as I'm going through, just because I'm trying to group up my different magazines. But we'll take a look at 18 and stop the recording. We'll take a look at 19, stop recording, take a look at 20. I'm just going to sort of get the things here packed away. But we'll get to that. So let's open up 18 now. Okay, so straight off the bat, issue 18 comes with lead belcher and dryad bark paints here. I'm just going to stick these straight onto my little miniature paint rack that I got behind me. So we got a base paint for lead belcher and a base paint for dryad bark. So two different colours there, which is nice. And then sort of let's get this out of the way. The big thing for this one, this isn't even going to fit in the camera, is a large map. So, double-sided map. This is awesome. And it's made out of relatively thick card. I've got a couple of different sort of miniatures games, or sort of I've got like X-Wing miniatures, sort of not X-Wing miniatures, X-Wing. I think it's just called X-Wing. I don't know what it is. I've done videos on the channel before. It's been a while since I've had that out and I've packed it away. But I found trying to sort out things for that, like you didn't get maps and that, and trying to find some sort of online, there was a lot of paper ones. I ended up buying a massive like like a rollout mat. But a lot of like card games and that, they give you sort of like their playing boards. They're really thin paper. That, for this magazine being shipped out, that is really thick card compared to a lot of things. So I'm actually really happy with that. But let's take a look at the magazine. We've got issue 18 here. Battle Games in the Age of Sigmar. So I guess a lot of this one is going back and looking at paints that you're adding to your previous little figures, here the miniatures, and just story and maybe a battle at the end of this one to follow through. But we've got the Anvils of Heldenhammer as a little bit of a briefing here. Fear not thy death. So, the Anvils of Heldenhammer are dark and brooding heroes from a much older era. They have come to embrace the death they've once feared. So it's talking about a group of heroes here. They are black armoured. Oh, is this the one that I sort of mentioned in the last one, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, so Soul of the Ancient Heroes and Nagash's Enmity and Heraldry. So I've got a bit of a breakdown here. And then I like this, the Cities of Sigmar, with this dude looking pretty cool. So, it's nice, sort of like a, I don't know, it's like a Spanish soldier, I don't know. Yeah. Hollow Heart, Nighthaunt Part 2. So we've got some sort of breakdown of different things here. Realm at War, the Nighthaunt sort of descriptions. Part 2 follows through like their story there. Thorny Briar, so again talking about sort of Nighthaunt. And we've got the Forces of Destruction listed here with Gorga Morkar. So that is cool. That's a new basis there. But we're looking at some of the Iron Jaws and Bone Splitters here, which are like the orcs of this game. Of Sigmar. It's pretty cool. We've got the Maggot King of Nurgle, and this is the Battle of Verdia. Going through information here. And so once you get past all that, with the Hammerhell Gyro as well, so it's got a bit of like the map here and sort of where the battle takes place in different things, which is actually really cool. I like those little like snapshots of this spot and sort of the mapping area and how it all comes together and where the forces are. That's really cool. But what we're going to do for this part is we're going back over our Sigmarite Mausoleum, and we're adding new paints to it, so dry bark and lead belcher. So kind of, we've got them back here. So some of these came out sort of dark, and then, you know, you've brushed over them, weathered them a bit, and we're adding some blacks on top of it to make some of the parts darker, and then we're adding the lead belcher to add silver, like a silvery colour, like lead colour, sort of, to make the gates and sort of fences stand out as like a metal component to that. So that can go back here, sitting on my Nintendo Labo steering wheel that I never use. Yeah, I'll bring this closer. So this sort of, oh, that's actually really cool. Adding some browns and some, okay, so the drier bark, we're adding browns, which makes the black stands out for the tombs, and then we've got the sort of lead colour for the gates there. Don't know if you can really see that, but it's just adding some depth to our mausoleum there and our tombs, so that's cool. And we've got in the domain of death, so in the catacombs, so this is another battle that you can play out, so running you through that one there, and then finishing off, ooh, that's cool, so all that there. And this last page, this is a new page. Normally it's got some, I don't have one sitting around somewhere. I usually have them somewhere. Usually it's got like the same sort of page that's on the backyard. This one says, from issue 21, enter the realm of life. In this issue comes with a new battle mat for you to use with the games of Age of Sigmar. This new battle mat is covered with highly detailed printed terrain showing the remains of an ancient overgrown ruin. From issue 21 onwards, you will take your first steps into the realm of life, fighting in its thick, unforgiving jungle. Prepare to march through the realm gate and prepare to fight to save Gairan from the Nighthaunt processions. That is cool. So, we have an issue 4 mat, which we've been using for quite some time. And now the issue 18 mat reverse is sort of like a larger version. So having bigger battles in sort of the same terrain that it's been teaching you about for 20 issues. And now we're going to be moving into a different area with different looking terrain, which is pretty cool. That's actually really exciting. So this was issue 18. In the next 2 issues, we're going to start seeing some changes there. But yeah, so what we'll do is, depending on if I've sort of moved and got time or got space, depending on what happens in the time frame of me recording this to when I get up to painting that, you might see me adding some details. You might see that sort of traditional thing that I was doing for first 16 issues. If not, I'll touch base at the end of each colour and go through that. Yeah, sort of excited to get back into miniature painting and all that, and make it sort of my, get back into that hobby that I was starting, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to continue making some videos, and yeah, we'll get back into it. Hey everyone, I have finished doing the additional details on my little, all the terrain here. It's actually a little bit harder than I thought because I couldn't really see a lot of the lead belcher as it was going on. And I've just noticed in a few different spots, so for example on this gate, like, you probably won't see it. So I've got Leadbelcher, the metallic, on like the actual gate part, and then we've got like the on the base part here with the dirt, the dried bark. But I've just noticed like a few dots on the top. There's no Leadbelcher. I mean, it's okay because it kind of looks like it just like rusted a little bit, with the blacks and the whites and the other bits and pieces on it. So it looks alright. It's not perfect coverage, so I guess that's take it as you will. You can't actually see a lot in the camera on this, even if I was to do a close-up at the moment. I think I need some contrasting colour, a little bit extra colour on it to be able to see all the effects, because, for example, like, let's get this bit out. So on the base here, I've got the blacky grey colour that's been dry brushed as well, and then I've got browns right next to it here, and like it's such a similar colour that it's not going to easily pick up on the camera. You can sort of see it there. So all the parts where there's dirt have the brown dry bark on them. All the metallic bits, like all the tips up the top of all the buildings, have Leadbelcher metallics. I even ran it, I did a little bit extra, I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but I ran it across the top because it looked like it had like a little bit of metal holding it together, and run it down the sides there. I found it really hard to do the buildings as opposed to the gates like this, because the gates were very dark black, but the buildings came out grayer when I originally put them all together. So I found that was a little bit of a challenge, but we did overcome it in the end, so we're all good with that. So yeah, just like all the little bits and pieces, they're all coloured in. It's really hard to show on camera just because of lighting and all that. And I don't have my normal light setup that I normally have when I'm filming at the moment, because I was using that for recording when I was recording a podcast. But overall, it looks pretty good. The other thing, I don't know if I was supposed to or not, but I thought, you know what, it looks really cool. The sword on the statue here I actually painted metallic, and the bits on the top of the gate, the big gate, I also painted with a bit of that metallic sort of colour. Again, I don't know if that was actually in the painting guide, because I didn't look at it while I was painting it after a bit. Like I had it out with me and I was painting, and then I kind of just added those little bits on without really reading the thing itself. So like that took quite a while to get all those bits on. I actually sat down and I painted for quite a few hours in the end without even realising. I think it was about 4 hours all up that day that I ended up painting. So sort of came together alright. It's just takes a lot out of you sometimes. Plus I also at the same time, or in between actually, I did a spray paint base coat on these two, which are upcoming figures as well. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get them covered with that rather than try and do coat after coat after coat of the Retributor armor, because I found it builds up quite quick if you already do that base coat over it. With the spray paint, it kind of really shines through even on one coat, so it kind of helps speed that up a little bit. But we'll paint those up. So we're going to do what have I done? Finished off one magazine, finished off this one today. I've got these three that I've been working on, which are the next issue. And this one had broken part. One of the figures broke in the delivery, and then we're up to the next sort of Stormcast. So it's been a lot focus on the Nighthaunt at the moment, which has been okay. It's been alright, because we had a whole lot of work on the Stormcast, whatever they're called, the Eternals, because we had to paint a lot of black on them, like all the gloves and around weapons, and that took forever because by the time that you're here you have heaps. It was a little bit different to when I was painting the cloaks on the Nighthaunt, because that's all it was all blue. It was like, just paint blue, just paint blue, just paint blue, just paint blue. Now I'm starting to add some extra details to those. So like things like their weapons, I'm going to be going through and adding the Leadbelcher's like silvery, metallic color to all of the weaponry. We're going to be going back and we're going to be adding the dried bark to a whole lot of like different things, like on the weapons as well, like poles or different parts of the actual figures themselves. So because we got these 2 paints in this magazine, of course the next magazine's like, yes, go and build these 3 figures, paint them up, then do the rest of your collection. So we're kind of going to get to that point where I sort of stop working on everything else. I think that's sort of that's what held me up last time, because I was taking forever to get through and catch up with a lot of the painting with the other figures. And now that we're switching it and we're going to be catching up a lot again, it's one of those things I need to do it in my own time, because if I'm sort of trying to finish it before each issue, you're never actually going to see the end of this 80 issue series where I go through and make everything. I think it's going to be one of those things where I finish sort of like the figures that are in the issue itself, move on to the next thing, and when I've got a bit of free time, I'll paint my own figures, like the rest of the figures in my own way. And then when we sort of get to the end of everything, so after we've finished 80 episodes of this, finished 80 videos, 80 magazines, I'll then continue painting, and once I'm finished absolutely everything and I can put it all on a like a board to show, like get one of the maps out and set it up, then we'll do like a full finish off video. But since I haven't uploaded for months and I finally got back into it, I've done 2 magazines, working on the 3rd and going to be starting the 4th. I'm interested to see what is coming. The last delivery that I had, which sort of came in the process of the painting of these figures and the miniatures and the mausoleum, there were 7 issues in there because of a back order that they had. But I changed the address, so getting that shipped off to my parents. But yeah, it's like, okay, I am so far behind. So we're up to issue 20, or coming up to issue 20, in the next, hopefully 2 weeks most. And I have essentially up to issue 50. So I've got another 30 issues to go through. I've fallen very far behind, but we'll get there. Anyway, that was a bit of a rant, bit of a talk, bit of an everything. Yeah, hope you have a good day, guys. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing to see more content as I push it out, and as we also get back into the video gaming content when I move, because I have some plans of setting stuff up to be able to access and record better. So hopefully we'll see something good with that. Till next time, have a great day. Catch you then.